2 big boxes? What am I, a collector? Hey everyone, welcome back to Outside the Box. I am this guy, and today we've got 2 big boxes to open up. Once again, starting from the smallest big box to the biggest big box. No idea what's in these. Maybe a vague idea. I almost hope it's not like 3 little figures and just like 1 big figure, because that would just take longer, right? Oh. All right. Here we have an upside down box. Oh, shizzle. Okay, there's 2 things in here. Oh, okay, I'm actually pretty excited for this. Transformers Reactivate Starscream and Bumblebee from the hit video game Transformers Reactivate. That's not out yet. Yeah, I'm kind of invested in the game. I really do hope it's good. I'm absolutely planning on picking it up day 1 and more than likely streaming it all day on Twitch whenever it comes out, right? But we also have in here our little boy, Studio Series concept art Rumble from the Bumblebee movie. Yeah, I kind of forgot about these guys. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. What do we open first? Let's do Rumble first, right? Obviously, no offense to the little guy, but we want to build things up. And I just want to get a closer look here at the artwork that we have on the box. Some really cool stuff on here. You can see this image of Rumble right here on the top. Looks very nice there. But you do get a close-up of the head here on the side. And one of the things that strikes me is that he really doesn't have much of a face. I mean, there's the visor, but just like a flat plate over the mouth. I guess it's kind of like a mouth plate, which I don't think he's ever had, right? I honestly think I probably prefer that over something overly complicated. Plus, having an overly complicated head probably wouldn't look good on such a small dude, too. So I'm glad they went that route. Oh. Oh my God, okay. All right, I think we have some, I don't know if it's a proportion problem, but, God. Okay, let me get him out of here. Okay, so right away, the biggest issue right out of the box, I think, is the proportions. Now, he has his pile drivers and no hands, unfortunately, but because the pile drivers have a bit of design to them, it almost looks like those are his hands instead of the pile drivers, which makes him look like he just has really long arms, giving him kind of a bit of a ape-like look. Just at first glance though, right? Plus, the size of the pile drivers themselves are a bit small compared to G1. I wish it could have been more like Studio Series 86 Rumble, where he would have the pile drivers as a separate piece. But I really am just glad that we got this guy at all. I think if we would have seen him just with regular arms, regularly sized, he would look a heck of a lot better. But this is cool. I like this. There is no doubt, even though there's plenty of detail here, who this guy is supposed to be. And there's very nice painting here in the chest too. It's still giving us the impression of a cassette-like design. That is really cool. The joints are tight, but not too tight. And oh smokes, I'm just noticing now, he's got a perfect ab crunch. Wow, you never see something like that on a Transformer. But for Rumble, it makes a ton of sense for posing. That is really cool. Plus, it makes him look more like a gorilla too, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you have all the nice needed articulation on the legs to get a nice little crouching position going here. And the head does tilt a little bit up and down, up sufficiently, so he's still looking up at you when he's crouching down like that. That is freaking awesome. Love it. Oh my God, I did not know he had this too. What the hell is this, dude? What? Okay, so on the bottom of the pile drivers, and I'll put them upside down here for y'all to see, he's got tiny little Decepticon symbols just ready to permanently imprint the face of the unfortunate Autobot that they connect with. Dude, that's freaking awesome. But they're upside down though. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why? I mean, we'll definitely be fixing that. No worries about that. Oh my God, I just love that. It's almost like if you had like some brass knuckles with like some kind of a wording on them, you know? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's perfect for Rumble. I love this. I love this a lot. I like the color as well. There's definitely a very strong blue. I don't know if I would keep that same color scheme for the eventual repaint or go with something a little bit more G1. The fact that it's almost the same blue that Soundwave himself is, maybe I would want to differentiate that a little bit. But it looks great though. I like it. There is a little bit of lighter blue on the top of the pile drivers. I think I may end up putting a little bit more of that, and we have some nice little gunmetal paint here on top as well. But for the majority of the figure, it's like a blue plastic with like the gray bits for the bottom. He does come with weapons as well. Nope, there goes one of them. Now obviously you're not going to peg them onto any kind of a hand because he has no hands. But it's funny, the weapons themselves, they do have a little peg here at the bottom, so maybe other core class figures could hold these as well. There's a little notch on this side here that does seem to connect to the side of the pile driver, maybe? No, that doesn't want to do it. Looks like where they actually connect is on the back, And Rumble does have that same similar design that a lot of the Bumblebee movie Cybertron characters have on the back. These two circles on the back. Optimus Prime has had them, even Soundwave himself, and this guy's no different. So I'm glad they're continuing that aesthetic to this little guy. Oh, these weapons are actually different too. I just noticed that. One seems to be sticking out a little bit farther than the other one, and they're different designs too. That's freaking amazing. I was not expecting that. They did not have to do that. They could have just given us two of the same weapon and we would have been happy. But now this just adds another level of detail to this character. Man, this is so great. This is so great. I just really do wish they could have maybe figured out a way to, I don't know, have some kind of hands on this figure. Due to the transformation, the pile drivers do have articulation, but that's just for the transformation itself, and it's not really exposing any kind of a hand though. Let's take a look at these instructions here. Oh, that's cool how the instructions do show you a nice image of the Decepticon symbols on those pile drivers. That is really awesome. So you don't miss it. You cannot miss it. Yeah, and it does look like the instructions only show the weapons going on the back of Rumble. So that's pretty much it. He's not going to hold them as a weapon, sadly, which is fine. But let's get him into his little, I don't know what, it's not a cassette mode. I guess his little compact mode here. Wow. Okay. All right. And here we have Rumble in his little compact mode, ready to be inserted into the chest of Soundwave. It is actually a compact mode. I will give it that. The way that the weapons actually peg in between the legs, it's pretty smart. Very, very cool stuff. Not what I would have figured. Very much a visible head right there. I don't know if you can actually probably rotate it before the transformation. I don't think the instructions had us do that. No, it didn't. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? It's fine. And you know, this little mode is really a bunch of nothing, but I'm glad it does that, and giving us the gimmick of actually being able to insert them into Soundwave. It feels a lot of that nostalgia for these characters, right? Now, obviously, because mine is fully painted on the inside, I don't really do that to mine, and I might not even keep the transformation. I think I'll do the same thing that I did with Ravage and just cut off all of those extra little pegs that are used for the transformation, giving us a much better looking bot mode in the eventual repaint though, right? Hasbro, I know there's designs for Laserbeak. Just finish the mission, right? Just finish the mission. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. I think a nice frenzy would be cool too. I'll take that. All right. Okay, let me get this guy back into bot mode. Yeah, and that app crunch is definitely used in the transformation too. So that's why it's there, but it just works beautifully in bot mode too. So grateful for that. Oh my God. Now, because the pile drivers are on a mushroom peg, I would be very interested to see if there's a nice design out there for some Bumblebee Movie Frenzy arms with fists. If anybody knows of any, let me know. I'll be very interested to take a look at them. I think that would be the last thing to make this figure complete. All right, dude. There we go. Put you right there. Here is, ooh, the bigger box. I've seen the trailer. I think all of us have, for Transformers Reactivate. I need to see some actual gameplay at this point. I don't know if it was originally supposed to be out last year. I don't quite remember. But they've been kind of silent for the last number of months. Hopefully we get an actual gameplay trailer soon. I want to get excited for this. But at the very least, we get some very interesting looking designed figures out of that game too. This is a post-apocalyptic world that the game seems to take place in. And so these characters do embody that, which you can very much see on Starscream, having some miscolored parts, like he used spare parts to complete his body. And not only are they different colors, but the design is different too. Is this Skywarp's shoulder? I don't know. We'll have to play the game and find out, right? But that's awesome. I love that. And it does look like Bumblebee is a bit of a smaller size, which is perfect for him. And not a sleek looking vehicle for the old mode, but kind of like an off-road Volkswagen Beetle, right? Which I think suits him. Let's get these out. Hang on a second. Ow. Oh, okay. Woo, I'm ready. How do we remove this guy, huh? How? Oh, well, he's got some more pegs on the wings. They do articulate. There we go. I think we can do that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and for Bumblebee, not as big as wings. Just fold them back there. There we go. And now noticing on the wings, you do also get a little bit of discoloration from one of the wings or the doors here on the back to this different looking one on the other side. It's the same design, it's the same mold, but it just has some different coloration to it, some nice stripes. We'll have to see what that's all about in the vehicle mode. We have what looks like the null rays for Starscream, and they are in the traditional Starscream blue with some very nice gunmetal here in the front. That is pretty nice. I'm glad we get 2 of them as well. Put those here. And some nice little handguns for Bumblebee. It's a very interesting design for these. Yeah, they're small. They almost seem like Uzis though, with the clips right in the front there. But I'm glad he also gets 2 of these weapons too. Very nice. So let's take a look at Bumblebee first. And right off the bat, the proportions of this figure are really good. I remember seeing there was some kind of I don't know if it was a leaked image of Bumblebee online months ago, right? Where some of the parts look to have been a little bit off from the rest of the figure. And if anything, usually they look a lot better in the games or in the shows or in the movies than they do in the actual toy form. But here, this guy looks great. The wheels that are on his leg don't make them look overly bulky, though they look fine. And what I can only imagine being doors for some wings, as we've seen Bumblebee have in the past, looks fantastic. This yellow, though, isn't actually regular yellow. There's a bit of a brownness to it, almost a bit of a darker yellow in shade, that I think suits the theme of the game, post-apocalyptic. Things are going to be dirty, they're going to be put together with other parts. I will definitely try to recreate that in an eventual repaint. And something you don't see fairly often though is that he does have an Autobot emblem right on his chest that is molded into the plastic. That is always excellent. I love seeing that. The only problem with that though is that the paint job that's on top of the emblem usually isn't all that clean though, meaning we're not going to see maybe the yellow parts on the in-between sections of the emblem. It's just going to be all red, which is what we get here. And then even worse, in the eventual repaint, getting this type of an emblem painted perfectly is super difficult. The last time I had to do that was with Studio Series 86 Grimlock, which for him, thankfully, he has a nice sizable Autobot emblem. It wasn't that hard for him, but for this guy, I can tell it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I look forward to doing that. I love this face sculpt too. That is just really good. We can see these little subtle spikes on the side of the head, and the chin strap makes it look like it's a helmet ready for some battle. That is awesome. Very good stuff there. And the bits that we see of the vehicle on the chest and on the shoulders are very fitting. I like how we have these guards for the lights here on the shoulders, and there's a lot of black to break up what would be otherwise plenty of yellow too. This is some really good stuff. The back, just a little bit of a backpack with the top of the vehicle here. Nothing crazy though. These wings do a fairly good job of hiding most of that, and they look excellent. There are these little sections that are kind of jutting out of the sides here. I don't know what they end up being for the vehicle, maybe parts of the spoiler perhaps? But they look so good in bot mode though. That is a very nice design. Ooh, I'm liking that. Also, as I'm getting a closer look, the black paint that they used over the yellow, it's not just regular black. It almost has like these tiny little metallic flakes to it. It's hard to describe. It's almost like a very, very, very dark gunmetal. And that just looks phenomenal on this guy. I don't know how well it comes up here on camera, but man, that is just really good for this character here. I absolutely do appreciate that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to recreate that for the repaint. I'm pretty sure I can though, but I don't know. There are some typical hollow bits that we tend to see on a lot of Transformers nowadays. Of course, the regular culprits inside of the thighs. A little bit of a hollowness, but it's not a lot though, and it definitely doesn't take away from the overall character. And even a little tiny bit just on the inside of the upper arms here, but again, you can hardly see it. I think having such big shoulder pads helps to hide that as well. No wrist articulation, sadly. It's kind of odd though that we do get these ball joints for the elbow articulation. It's an odd choice, and it works fine. It's sufficiently tight. I know that it's something that's usually held off for like core class figures, so I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue in the future. But yeah, this guy just looks fantastic. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta point out one other detail. Please excuse the pose, but if you look at Bumblebee's ass, on the bottom here, it looks like he has some detailing for the back of the vehicle. Definitely some exhaust pipes. And if you look really closely, there's another molded Autobot symbol. The hell is that? What is that? Oh my God. I mean, it looks great. It looks great. I'm guessing it's going to look even better in vehicle mode, right? Oh my God, that is so freaking awesome. And then that part there is definitely much more of a gunmetal. It's much more silvery in that regard. That is just very nicely designed. Okay, let's all right, let's check them out with his weapons here real quick. Yeah, I'm not too sure about these. I'm not too sure because of the smallness. of the design. It's like you can tell that they're there, but it's like, I don't know. Are they gonna give us a big bang, you know? I think Bumblebee would have needed something with a little bit more oomph. But I mean, you know, Bumblebee's never really known for having big guns, right? I think these suit him just fine. These little poppers. Okay. All right. I need to check him out into vehicle mode. Let's see what that looks like. That was beautiful. Wow. Okay. This was a great transformation. Wow. Okay. Some parts a little bit finicky, but it's mostly due to me not having a great view of the instructions. But once you get them in there, they're pretty well in place. The door here on top still kind of keeps wanting to pop out. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. We're going to keep massaging this. But the ingenuity of the transformation itself, pretty different from what I've seen in the past. And the vehicle that you get, oh my gosh, look at this little guy. Very much Volkswagen Beetle-ish, right? Nobody tell VW though. But decked out for the post-apocalypse. This is an absolute joy. And yeah, these little bits that were sticking out the back, they are forming a bit of a spoiler section here. Look at this back. Look at what's going on here, man. Jesus Christ. God, I love that so much. I love that so much. Yeah, you have to assume that the engine of the vehicle is in the back here. The Autobot emblem firmly in place with the exhaust right here in the back. These two spikes here at the bottom are the back of the feet, but you can't even really tell here. They're very well hidden. The emblem on the chest is now the front of the vehicle. Very perfect. Those shoulder sections though, that had sections of what looked like were also the front of the vehicle, I think the sides, those are hidden inside, and now we have the actual vehicle section here. That is good stuff. Faux parts, but I love it. I love it. Also, thank God there's no clear windows. We don't want to see the jimble jamble of the parts on the inside. You'd have to imagine that it's going to be more of an armor type of a vehicle, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, he does have the little slits on the windshield where the driver, the presumed driver, would be able to see. This is a Mad Max Bumblebee, and he is perfect. I love this guy. Wow. And now, of course, the weapons are going to fit right on the hood, as after I saw the instructions, you can put them on there while in bot mode too, which is a plus. Now, I've said before that I'm not typically a guy for weapons on the alt modes, especially on Earth mode vehicles, but this is post-apocalypse. This is a future where something went down and we need to have guns on our vehicles. This looks fantastic. I love this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the game too. I hope so anyways. Man, if the game is as good as this figure, I think we're in for a treat. If not, at least we still got this awesome figure. I love this. Absolutely love this. You know what I'm thinking too? This kind of a figure would look perfect next to all of those new little Junkions that we're getting as well too. They have the same theme going on. Man, I love this guy. Woo! Look at that. Now before we get him back into bot mode, let's take a look at Starscream here. But first... Oh, yes! Coffee's great. Okay, all right. So we have here Starscream. Now, right off the bat, once again, this Starscream looks pretty thin, and I personally do really like that. I overall like having a thin Starscream. I think it fits the character a bit more. Maybe not super lanky like he was in Prime, but this proportion looks great. I don't imagine him as a big bulky character though, which he hardly ever is, thankfully, but this looks wonderful. We can see much more on bot mode with this guy. The difference in the colorations that he has all over his body here, especially with the shoulder here, parts of the chest, this upper leg section, it's telling us a story. Something happened, even on the wing here on the side. It's funny how it's mostly on this side, like something bad happened to Starscream, you know? Looks like he has both of his original feet. That's kind of ironic though, huh? Ah, but this looks great. And of course, I really do like just the size of the wings too. That is an impressive wingspan. Oh my God. The back of the figure also looks fantastic. He has a similar thing that Gamer Edition Starscream has, where he has these little wings also tucked in on the back too. That looks excellent. Tiny little bit of a backpack, but it's nice and flat here though. And the wings help to conceal that a bit as well. I think maybe I would have liked a little bit of more color back there. I don't think it's gonna be just completely black like this in the game. Or it might be, we never know. And of course, it's something that we can always fix in a repaint as well. And on the bottom, we have the legs. Very nice designs here. Thankfully, no hollowness that I can see on the back. Once again, it's all just black plastic. I think I would have liked a little bit more color. I'm pretty sure it's going to have a little bit more going on there on the game. But it looks cool. It looks cool. Once again, same hollowy sections. We have the upper thigh here on the inside. Just a little bit of a hole there. Because it's a mushroom peg, they don't tend to cover those up, which is, I guess, a good thing for customizers to help us remove them. But it's always something that's noticeable too, though. That can be easily fixed with some putty on the repaint. The forearms are another story, though. There's a lot more hollowness here, but that has to do, I'm guessing, with the transformation. Yeah, the arm does fold inside for that. Wish we could have gotten some kind of an articulating plate that'll fold on top of it to cover that up. But, you know, with these budgets, there is only so much that we can do with these characters, though. And it looks like the hollowness does continue on the upper arm. On the back section, we have a little bit of a hollowness there that we can definitely try to fix ourselves, though. But man, this is not bad at all. Not bad at all. He has his traditional jet intakes here on the back too, as well as a cockpit here in the front. Very well colored. That's not like a chromey orange, but it's got the same little flake material too. It makes it look almost metallic in a way. And of course, the traditional intakes that we see on his bot boobs here. That looks very cool. Of course, he does have the Decepticon symbols on the wings. And thankfully, they are right side up. That is awesome. Yeah, we have one here as well. You can see a little bit less because of the black background, but that looks cool. Good stuff here. Now, as far as the helmet though, we do see the G1 aesthetic of having the vents on the sides, but he also has what you don't typically see Starscream have is the round, almost like the ear coverings on the sides. I like that design for Starscream. It looks good on him. And also a very similar chin strap. Makes us look like a helmet ready for war. But also, don't think I haven't noticed the baby blue eyes though. Starscream has blue eyes. What's up with that? Is that a spoiler? I hope not. I think it's safe to say that if and when I do an eventual repaint on these guys, which I would love to, it's definitely going to be after the game comes out, because we don't know what the story is going to be like. I don't even want to say stuff. I don't want to speak stuff into reality. I don't know. But I want to play the game first, see what it looks like in the game. That'll give us a better idea what they should look like when we give him a full repaint as well. But let's grab his weapons and complete the look for Starscream. Oh, and once again, I'm just noticing now, these null rays have a quite distinct design from each other, which you don't typically see. That's kind of been the theme today, huh? Core Class Rumble has that. He's not even in the game that we know of. But for a core class to give us two different weapons, that's still mind-boggling here. I'm glad Starscream has that as well. It totally makes sense for him. Are these Thundercrackers null rays? I don't know. I don't know. You can plug them on the arms. Not on the upper arms as you see on G1, but like on the forearms, like where Megatron has his cannon. Hey, but that looks freaking good. He's ready to rock and roll, baby. He is good to go. All right. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's cool. I am noticing that the wings on the legs, they come like this out of the box, but you can rotate them back. I don't know if that's any better of a look. I think it may make him look just that much more thinner. No, I think that looks a little bit better. I mean, it's all up to your own taste, right? Cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Now, does the jet mode live up? Let's find out. My God. Oh my God. I love that already. Yo, this is a hell of a Starscream jet. It is one of the most sleekest that I've ever seen, especially from the top here. I think it came out pretty flat looking in the pictures, almost elongated. Once again though, as with many of these figures, it looks a lot better in person. A heck of a lot better here. There are transformation bits that I've never seen for Starscream do before in the past. Those same chest vents that we saw in bot mode now are rotated to be front facing in the jet mode, and they look superb right there. But then we no longer have those air intakes that he has behind his head. Those actually rotate back and they form part of the back of the jet, and they still look great back here too though. I very much do like that. It retains that impressive wingspan, and it has these double wings now here on the back. Very good stuff. And the look is very much completed on the back with not just two exhausts that were on the bottom of the legs, but there's also one here in the center too. I mean, that might be overkill for this guy, but I mean, this is Starscream, you know? And the differences in the color, of course they do continue in jet mode. Those wings are very prominently different colored here. It's much more obvious. Still a lot of black for the second half of the jet here. I wish there was a little bit more color though. But the black bits added to the front as well, around the cockpit. It helps to bring the whole thing together though, it really does. Now, the bottom of the jet, I'm gonna say that it's not terrible. It is not terrible, but yeah, it's always gonna be impossible to completely hide Starscream into the jet, especially in the bottom. But it does a very good job of tucking away these legs in the center, and then the arms as close to the body as possible. Plus now having the weapons on the bottom of the wings, as they traditionally are like in G1, it helps to hide all that. That is freaking excellent, dude. I love that very much. Now, he doesn't have any landing gear though, and so you probably can't see it on here, but he stays pretty flat on a surface, maybe a little bit wobbly, but it looks good. I don't unfortunately see any kind of a port where you can possibly attach some kind of a flight stand to this figure. He really would look awesome with one, but sadly, I don't think there is one. Maybe something could be made for him though. But yeah, this is fantastic. There is also a tiny little detail of these tiny little forward wings that kind of fold into place too. Wasn't expecting that at all. I don't even know where they came from in bot mode. They just kind of appeared into place there. But it looks great. And I'm just noticing now, because it is post-apocalyptic, he even has one little panel here that I can see on top that's missing, and you can see a lot of the little robot bits inside. That is freaking awesome. I don't know if there's other sections like that. There might be. Maybe towards the back. Yeah, which I think that is the case here. If you see this panel here, it's kind of all solid, but here, there's extra detailing showing up on this side. So yeah, he's seen some damage, and he's not fully repaired, it looks like. That would be a great place to add a lot of little detailing too. Woo! This guy's just begging for a repaint. Oh my God. And now looking at these two guys together, of course the scale isn't going to be there, but just the fact that we have Bumblebee as a smaller figure compared to Starscream, this is great though. This is how they've always been pretty much. I want to get these both back into bot mode so we can proudly display them like that. You're gonna go right there, and you'll go right there, sir. Now, this would totally be enough for one video, but no, we've got one more box. Oh, I really do hope there aren't like 4 other figures in here, because I don't know if I can do that right now. I'm gonna try to knock down everything that we have here. What do you see, huh? Oh, oh my God. Oh, baby, what have I done? What have I done? Oh, okay, all right. A little bit too much here, a little bit too much. We have Studio Series 86, number 24, Junkion Scrapheap. Now this guy, we very much know what to expect, right? He's a remold of Studio Series 86 Wreck-Gar, and a very good remold at that. You get a very different looking motorcycle mode for this dude. Absolutely different head sculpt as well. And I was debating on getting this guy, but I think after we got all of those smaller Junkions, it made me want to complete like the whole set that much more, right? You got me, Hasbro. You did it again. All right. But most importantly, we have Transformers from the Reactivate game, Optimus Prime, and Soundwave. Oh my lord. I don't plan these things out, guys. No, these things just happen like this. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. Yeah, I had totally forgotten that these came in as well, but I'm glad we're gonna get to open them up. But once again, let's take a look at Scrapheap first. Save the best for last, right? All right, let's do that. Don't fast forward. Oh wait, you've already fast forwarded. That's okay. Here we go. I don't think we're gonna take a real long time on taking a look at this guy. Look at that. I'm always impressed with how beefy these guys are too. Finally, after 40 years, we are getting some very nice Junkions. A lot of characters from the 86 line, properly scaled, and how they look in the animated movie and in the show. I'm surprised it took this long to get something so closely resembling what we see. Better late than never though, right? Ooh, look at that, weapons. And here I was thinking, we're only gonna do 2 boxes today. Only 2 boxes, but they were sizable boxes though, right? Can we get him out? Oh, he's got his handlebars. Gotta get him out at an angle. There we go. Now, it's been a while since I've messed around with Wreck-Gar. He already had the one remold though, right? I don't even remember his name. I'm pretty sure I got that one as well. This is the 3rd one. I think it might be the last one too. And this is actually, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is actually a character that did pop up in the animated movie, right? Like in the background, you do see this design of a head. I don't know how closely the body is to him, but there were quite a few different motorcycle Junkions. I guess we clip these on right onto the arms. I do love how they're designed. Even once they're firmly in place, you can still rotate these guys. Love that. Love that. This weapon, I have to say that this is a new design for this character, right? This does not look familiar to me. It's got this scope looking bit here on top that's connected in 2 spots. I don't remember seeing that on the other characters. Definitely some hollowness to it, but it looks very good. This front section here is very much G1. I love that. It almost doesn't seem to want to fit all that great because of the bulkiness of the forearm here. The bulkiness of the forearm here in the back kind of gets in the way of putting the weapon in all the way, but I mean, it stays on there very well. Now this guy obviously looks great, right? I think it's the same overall color scheme as we have Redgar and the other Junkions. The actual chest piece itself, it's not gold per se, but it's a nice yellow. We do have some brown plastic pieces that are painted in gold, like these knee sections here. They look very nice in gold. But yeah, this chest section is molded in that yellow plastic. But again, it's not gold, it is more of a yellow. Very nice head sculpt as well, different enough from what we got before. And he still has all the details for the motorcycle readings on the back of the head. That's really cool. But I do believe, as with the other characters, it's going to get hidden by an actual motorcycle section, I think. I think from just the look of it, again, it's been a while since I opened up Redgar and the other dude. A lot of it looks different from the others. Definitely a different chest because he doesn't have the chest guns on there. That's very much Redgar's thing. And I think the legs themselves are also different sculpt. I'd have to go back and check with the other characters, but it looks pretty different. I'm almost thinking that the thighs and maybe like the quad section are going to be the same. That looks very similar. I don't know about the arms. They look different, but I could be mistaken. But overall, I think it does enough to differentiate this character from the others, especially the color scheme too, I'm guessing. Yeah, when I get to an eventual repaint for these guys, I would love to give them like a nice rusted, dirty look for them. It's gonna suit them very well. All right, but let's check out the motorcycle mode for this guy. And yeah, I still need the instructions for him. Whoa, okay. I remember the head section being extremely finicky on Redgar in the transformation into motorcycle, and this guy is proving to be no different so far. There's a number of hinges that have to turn in exactly the right way to get it right. It's always a pain. I'll show this little section here. This is the head here, and these are some sections that come out of the chest to start forming the motorcycle. Getting the head through there, kind of a pain. Kind of a pain. Okay. And here we go. We have Scrapheap in his Junkion motorcycle mode. Once again, this back section looks very familiar. I think the legs are different. We have some exhausts here. Very much of a different front. He actually doesn't have a fake windshield kind of a thing that I do believe Redgar had. So that's very interesting. It looks very tiny here, but that helps to make it look that much more different. And the wheels do roll beautifully here. Love that, because they have like the little spikes on them. You would think it'd be hard for them to roll, but no. I mean, on the cutting mat, it's loud, but it rolls fine. Oh, that's awesome. There are dual little kickstands. Of course, on the bottom, I think the same design that we have on Redgar helps it to stand perfectly. And I do believe the weapon, you can peg it on, oh, I don't know. Where do we have holes, huh? Maybe right here on the side and the bottom. That looks perfectly adequate. Just be careful where you put your foot when you're riding this thing. Hey, that looks awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like this guy. I mean, I would like to see all three of them together. All three of them painted. All three of them rusted to heck. When are we going to do that, huh? I mean, you could join the Patreon, pick one out yourself. That's an option. All right. I think I'm going to leave this guy into the motorcycle mode. Just put him right over here to the side. I'm sure Rumble doesn't mind. All right. Another refill. Oh, yes. Ah, woo, baby. Woo, this is a king-size video here, man. Oh, my God. Yes. Ooh, I love bags. Yeah. Nice accessories. Ooh, good stuff. Okay. Wow, right off the bat. Soundwave, quite a bit smaller than Optimus Prime, huh? That's weird. I didn't expect that. He's almost like Bumblebee sized. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, all right. I think the question is he that size in the game? Or is it just a figure that's making him a little bit smaller? I mean, he's typically about the same size as Optimus, right? Because he's almost about the same size as Megatron, maybe just a little bit smaller. I think that's gonna make him shorter than Starscream, which that's really weird. He does have a bit of a backpack here. There we go. All right. And let's check out what I can imagine are his accessories because they're on his side of the box. Nope, that's for both characters. The typical things that you would expect. Optimus Prime's most iconic blaster. Love it. I love that. Hell yeah, that looks badass. Wow, okay, look at that. A very G1 inspired weapon for Soundwave. That's extremely cool. Hell yeah. And I'm guessing this is gonna be his shoulder mounted weapon. A little bit shorter than I would think, but that's not too bad. We've got an Energon axe, and it is in a clear yellow orangey plastic, but it has some nicely painted black sections in there as well. That's an interesting take on this design. I like that. I like that. Not bad. There we go. Okay. What's going on here, Prime? I think there's something with his chest that doesn't want to completely snap into place here. We may fix that with the transformation, but he looks fantastic. He's got some of the most beadiest eyes that I've ever seen in a Prime. Before we take a look at him though, let's start with Soundwave. Soundwave is definitely a smaller size than I would have thought. I thought they were both about the same size. Comparing him to Starscream, this ain't right. No, this ain't right. I don't like this at all. This is starting to give me a little bit of animated Soundwave vibes, which animated Soundwave I kind of liked and I kind of didn't like. It was a pretty good design. He did go through a couple of different iterations when he started to like grow with his little drones or whatever. But he started off pretty small though, right? And so this kind of gives me that kind of vibes. Plus the proportions on him are not quite as strong as Starscream and Bumblebee. They're not bad, they're good. I think the only issue may be on the chest itself. It's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit barrel chested, I think. It's like he's like forcefully trying to stick it out. You know, it's like, I don't know. He's trying a little bit too hard. Quite a bit of a backpack on this guy. And it's just in plain sight. There's no wings that are kind of hiding it. It's just there, giving him almost a bit of a hunchback kind of a look. The top section here, let me give you a closer look. This top section here, because it's on a bit of a slant, I don't think it helps out that backpack at all. It makes it quite a bit more noticeable, if anything. What I do like though is the little bit of red paint that it has here on top, just to break up the overall look though. That is pretty good. Now the chest, I just opened this up, right? So I'm not even 100% sure myself. I don't think you can open it. It's not clear plastic. I don't think anything actually goes in there. It just kind of looks like a representation of his cassette door from G1. And also, I guess on his crotch plate, maybe like the slightest hint of buttons on there, which is fine. It doesn't have to look exactly the same, but it doesn't open though, right? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that Soundwave in the game will have minions. That's kind of the fun thing about Soundwave. He has to have something like that in the game. And the fact that they didn't put that into the figure is also kind of a ding against it. So I'm making an assumption though, we won't know for sure until the game is out. If Soundwave is in the game without that kind of a mechanic though, that's gonna be a failure on both the game and the figure, I think, right? But then it won't be so much of a ding against the figure. They're just showing us what's in the game. Okay, whatever. We don't know for sure yet, right? But the size though, I can't imagine Soundwave is gonna be this much smaller in the game. That's hard to imagine. Maybe he will be, I don't know. It's just weird, it's kind of weird. There were some initial photos where he looked a little bit elongated, like the legs didn't look long enough or they looked too long. I don't know, I don't remember, something looked off. But they look okay in the figure itself though. Yeah, it's not bad in person. Take a look here at the entire figure. I think it's the fact that the swollen look of the chest doesn't quite help the figure overall though. Maybe if the legs were a little bit more beefy, probably would have been better. I mean, they can definitely be a little bit bigger. I think if we had that, it would also help for the overall size of the figure itself too. But on their own, they're not, it's not the most terrible thing. I do dig like the dark blue of the overall figure. It's good. And then the silvers that are breaking that up, along with the blacks and the reds, it looks good on him. It looks good. He doesn't have so much post-apocalyptic look where some parts are different colors though, or panels are missing. He looks like he's pretty much in one piece, and I'm trying to see if anything is differently colored. Not really, everything pretty much looks the way it was, I think, intended. Maybe he has that post-apocalyptic look in the game more than he does like on the figure itself. I don't know, but the fact that they did such a good job with Starscream showing that, I don't know why they continue that here. Maybe, again, it's a spoiler for the story of the game. A lot of questions, right? A lot of questions. There's a bit of an articulated bit on the backpack that folds up. I'm guessing maybe that's some kind of an antenna, a spy antenna for vehicle mode. He is the communications expert for the Decepticons, so we're going to find that out in a bit. At least he has rotating fists. Great. And on the insides of the legs here, he's got these little panely bits that clearly they fold out to form part of the vehicle, but they don't really seem to stick into place very well in bot mode. They're kind of hanging in there. It sticks out a little bit. It doesn't look all that coherent in bot mode though. Wish it was better, especially one of them just keeps sticking out. One of them is really bad. I'm probably gonna have to sand that down. Although these are like very soft nylon plastic pieces, so I guess we're asked out. Okay, and yeah, once again, the same typical hollow sections that you expect on many of these figures. It's never really as noticeable on black plastic though because of the shadows that it creates, but it's definitely there. They did try to add like a some kind of a design piston in the center to help mitigate that, and even more so on the arms, both on the lower arm, the upper arm. This is Hollow City right here though, so that's not doing Soundwave any favor, sadly. Let's check them out with his weapons though. I'm very much surprised just how G1 they designed this. It's almost like it's sticking out, like we took the weapon out of G1 Soundwave and just plugged it onto this guy. I like how it looks, but it does almost look out of place, right? It's not bad, it's not bad. The shoulder part, however, he does have a clear port up on top. I actually wish that looked a little bit more like G1, or at the very least, I wish it was just a little bit longer maybe. That looks pretty cool though. Yeah, it's not too bad. Or maybe add a little bit of red to it. I think that's all that's missing. It's just molded in the blue plastic, but we can always fix that on an eventual repaint. And it does have some articulation, so it can point up a little bit, quite a bit down, which is kind of weird. A little bit up though, and of course you can rotate it around. It's a bit of a tight fit, but that's not bad. Okay, all right, I dig that at least. Now the head sculpt though, it's perfect. Part of what does make me feel that this is a bit of a minuscule Soundwave than what we actually see in the game is that the head looks a little bit small compared to the other figures. So I think it lends credence to the idea that maybe they did miniaturize this. Why would they do that though? I guess maybe to have a character that's bigger than the other one, like with Starscream for this Optimus Soundwave 2-pack. It makes sense for Starscream and Bumblebee though, but not for Optimus and Soundwave. Really weird, but the design itself is absolutely gorgeous. 100% Soundwave right there. I really do love that. Well, so far Bumblebee and Starscream have had very nice transformations, some very unique sections that fold in on themselves. Let's see how Soundwave does. Well, what do you know? The transformation doesn't suck. It's good. I liked it. Once again, everything snaps firmly into place in vehicle mode. Some very unexpected parts for the transformation as well. An overall complete back. Weapons make sense and fit into the vehicle mode. I like this. This is a great vehicle. Very much so. We do have the little antenna now on the back. It doesn't rotate, it just kind of like flips up, but that's cool. And the same weapon that's on the shoulder is now on top of the vehicle. Has a lot more articulation moving up now. Can still go down a bit. We can also rotate it as well. Still a pretty tight fit though. And his blaster goes on the back, and you can even mix them up if you want to. And this one can rotate around as well. Everything looks great here. I do like it. Some red headlights here in the front though. Okay, yeah, that's a choice. It does look a little bit out of place though. What was the chest is now the hood of the car. Having the gold outline there, I mean, it definitely stands out. But you know what? I'll take it just to have that look into robot mode as well. Not bad, not bad. There are some black sections though that do kind of fit into the whole post-apocalyptic thing where they may have been taken from other vehicles, but he has them on both sides, so they're matching there. Nothing is like asymmetrical on this guy that I can see, but maybe just Soundwave takes better care of himself. I don't know. And the back, we have it fully molded here. You do see a little bit of the bot parts here underneath, but that's okay. No paint though. I think I could use a little bit of paint. I think there are like some rear lights that are kind of molded in there. So it would definitely benefit from that, I think. I do very much like how the wheels have matching blue rims. That's really good. Soundwave definitely takes care of himself. Let's be honest. The windshield once again has a little slit. This is like an armored car. Suitable for spying, gets the job done for Soundwave. Very good stuff. Yeah, a much better vehicle than we get on bot mode. I'm almost curious if we had a bigger size Soundwave to match the height of Optimus or of Starscream, if we could have engineered a better bot mode, maybe not have so much of a backpack. I'm not sure, but I think it should definitely be a little bit bigger. I'm not going to transform Bumblebee again, but I almost feel like it's the same size as Bumblebee. I mean, not surprising, bot modes were about the same size. So still an odd choice, but a very good vehicle mode. I like it very much. I'm almost guessing that when the game actually comes out, Hasbro will release these figures individually with the rest of the bots that are going to be in the game. Will they make some changes to Soundwave? I hope so. I'm not holding my breath for that though. I think this is what we get. All right, let's check out the big bot himself, Optimus Prime. Now, right out of the box, like I mentioned before, there's a section of his chest here that doesn't seem to want to peg in all the way. So I don't know if I'll be able to fix that when I transform him a few times though. But that aside, this figure looks fantastic. We've seen many different iterations of Optimus Prime over the years. Of course, this is supposed to be an Earth mode of Optimus Prime, post-apocalyptic, battle-ready truck, as we'll see in the transformation, but this guy just oozes with G1 flavor. Reds, blues, grays, with silver highlights picked out throughout the body. And once again, just like Soundwave, it's post-apocalyptic, but we don't really have other panels that are mismatched with other parts of the body. I kind of wish we would have seen that on all the characters. Like if we're gonna go post-apocalyptic, let's go all the way, you know? Maybe that's something that I'll explore in the eventual repaint. Once again, depending how we feel after we play the game, how he looks in the game, that will give us a better idea how we should repaint the figure as well. But even if it's like this in the game, I would totally be down to maybe change it up a little bit too. Give him that really rusted look, you know? I can see a matrix inside of the chest. Can we get it out? Hey, look at that. Oh, I always love that little gimmick for Optimus Prime here. Very, very bulky shoulders on this dude too. Nice, hefty arms on him as well. I never like when they don't paint the hands. Like, come on, guys. Give him some blue hands, guys. We'll fix that, don't worry. And that is one thing I don't care if it's like that gray in the game. No, no, no. We're gonna give him blue hands. We're gonna give him blue hands. Let's pop this little sucker out of here and see if it's a different matrix than we have in the past. I think it's the same matrix we've had before. It doesn't look very different from what we typically get from Optimus Prime or other matrix wielding Autobots. It is of course a clear piece that's painted and it has a hollow section in the center, which we can see here in the back, automatically begging to be lit up with an LED, and I might be totally down for that too. But yeah, it's not much different. You would almost expect it to have like some kind of a different design for like the games. The movie, although we never saw it in the Bumblebee movie, they've given him a different looking matrix for various figures. I know the YOLO Park model kit has, I believe, a different looking matrix, which is always appreciated. But this looks good though. Traditional G1 matrix, that's awesome. Now, taking a look at the head sculpt though, you see what I'm talking about with those little beady eyes, like almost like he's super squinting, which is a cool look, but I don't know if he's always gonna look like that in the game. That doesn't bother me, but just having him permanently squinting though, it's a look. It's a look. It almost looks like one eye smaller than the other, but I think it's just the lighting though. How close can I get? I know the lighting here isn't the greatest. Can you even see the eyes? Do they even come up on camera? It's kind of weird. The lights that are on top of his chest, I'm glad that they painted them in, but they got them in silver, which I don't think we've ever seen before. This guy doesn't have any yellow on him whatsoever. No yellow on the crotch plate, no yellow on the lights here. Definitely no yellow on the forearms. He doesn't even have the molded in arrows that he has on G1, which is fine. He doesn't have to have that, but just no yellow whatsoever. That looks like that's the one color that is missing from this guy. I would definitely probably add that myself if I could. Once again, depending on how he looks in the game, but this guy looks fantastic. Little bit of a backpack, not a big deal though. It doesn't stick out too much, and I kind of like how it's designed too though. It's not as clean as how he looks in the game. We've seen shots of the back of Optimus Prime. They do recreate though these little thruster sections like he has like a jetpack. So they give that little bit of a look in the bot mode. I think they look a bit cleaner in the game. There's only so much you can do in the figure itself. I think they're still gonna be visible in truck mode. I'm not 100% sure, but it also has these little grate sections that I almost assume they're gonna be covering up headlights in truck mode, then they're kind of hanging out the back here. Little bit kibbly. Thankfully, the big bot himself does not stand for hollow sections. Well, not on the legs anyways. This looks very well. It's obviously two pieces with the screw in there. It looks fantastic. I will definitely take that. And as we look on the arms themselves, they don't come out unscathed. Sadly, a little bit of hollowness on the upper arm there. I think it's small enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hollow sections. At least they broke it up a little bit. Is that an improvement? Give it a bit of a honeycomb look. I don't know if that's any better. I guess I prefer that over being completely hollow. I mean, they have to kind of do that for structural purposes. Otherwise, that thing would just snap off. But I don't know if we'll be able to putty that. It's a lot of pieces put together. I think I would prefer, if possible, maybe an aftermarket filler kit, if we can find one. I don't know if there's any that do exist. If they do, let me know. I would gladly take a look at that. I like the smokestacks on the side here. I always like it when they have a little bit of a curvature too. We'll definitely smoke those up, give it a nice burnt look up on top. That's excellent. This same silver design that we have in the front does continue on to the back of the arm. That is excellent. I do love that. And we have the Autobot emblems here on the shoulders. Expertly applied, but the heftiness of the arms, the shoulders, does continue on to the legs as well. We have the classic silver grille here right in the front of the shins. I love it. Very nice wheels here on the sides. Let Optimus show those wheels off. Don't hide those. And of course the little gas tank sections on the side of the legs too. That's awesome. I think though they're probably going to be hidden in truck mode. Well, I don't know. I can see some wheels that are tucked underneath in the chest here. So let's go ahead and check him out with his blaster weapon here. Yeah, that is a nice size weapon right there. Perfectly suitable for the boss bot himself. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. And then the Energon axe just has a peg here in the bottom that I'm guessing he wields like a blaster. Yep, he does. Okay. All right. What's going on here? What are we doing here? I guess if you do it like this, it looks okay, but the biggest drawback from this is that the base black section, is not completely filled out from the back. So because he holds it like a regular blaster, you see the fist on the bottom. And so if you try to have him hold it kind of like this, it starts to not look very well from certain angles. That's kind of a shortcoming there. Okay, it's not terrible, but maybe, I don't know if something could be designed to also snap onto this side and completely hide the fist. That would be perfect. That'd be perfect. I understand why they don't have it here in this figure. Only so much you can do with the budget. All right, not too bad. Let's get this guy into his truck mode. This truck mode, I almost have no words for this, but let me try a little bit. It's absolutely astonishing. I love what they're doing here. Some very traditional transformation sections, as most Optimusi usually have. It's very interesting where the robot feet ended up in truck mode. Not where you'd expect, but a super solid cab. I love the design of this. Still very much keeping those post-apocalyptic vibes, especially with this menacing front bumper here. You probably don't want to get hit with that. That's going to cause some damage for you. It'll probably ruin your day. But man, everything just comes together in the end here. Of course, a little bit finicky in some parts, or some weird rotation of the shoulders to get them into the cab mode. But once it's in place, it is locked in there. Super awesome how the shoulders do become part of the cab here as well. The forearms have a few panels that open up to cover up everything else too. And of course the front chest section becoming the windshield there. Quite a bit of gray that you have here in the front. I don't know how well the colors match in the game. I'm thinking there might be a bit more red, or they're just some other off panels since this is post-apocalyptic version and the colors won't 100% match. But it's still pretty uniform on both sides, or there's nothing different on one side as it is on the other side. And so I am curious how that's going to end up looking in the game. And I like how the same thrusters we have on the back are still exposed in truck mode. You gotta imagine that's gonna be a bit of a boost that he's gonna need in the game too. And I can't wait to see that in action. But I think because the feet end up right behind the cab, it allows this back section to not be so bulky as it typically is with a lot of primes. That is a very good design. I do like that. Now those gas canisters that he typically has in bot mode do get folded in, and they don't really do a good job of representing like some tail lights here. They're just some vertical lines here, but it's still something, and it's better than nothing, right? Not too bad, not too bad. Now the back of the smokestacks though, they do have a little bit of hollowness that is much more visible here in truck mode, but I am thinking that can definitely be filled in with some putty. That won't be a major issue. I don't know if I'm gonna continue the red for the thruster section. I have to see how it looks like in the game, but it would unify that look a little bit better though, I think. Still though, this is a fantastic vehicle mode for Optimus Prime. They did a bang up job with the transformation sequence and with the look of the vehicle itself. And I believe you can attach his blaster rifle here on the side. It does have a side peg on the weapon. And of course, being post-apocalyptic, it doesn't look too out of place. It's going to do some damage to you. If that front bumper doesn't get you, this weapon will. Very nice. Now, if you look at both Soundwave and Optimus together in their vehicle modes, I do think that they scale pretty well to each other. But still though, if the vehicle for Soundwave was a little bit bigger, I don't think that would take away too much of the look from the vehicles, and it would just benefit the bot mode for Soundwave. That is still the one drawback that we have for that character, but man, Optimus Prime, he is near perfect. I love this. And especially the weathering that they added to that bumper. He's already done some damage. Optimus has roughed up some dudes. I have no doubt about that. We are definitely gonna recreate that for the eventual repaint. This just begs for some more weathering though, it really does. Man, do I really hope that the game lives up. I really do. But regardless, I'm gonna be there day one checking it out. Okay, back to bot mode for both of these. And you're gonna go right over here. How about you, Prime, right over here. Perfect. All right. Well, I think that's more than enough for today. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it very much. You can catch me on other social medias. Links are down below. And I'm live on Twitch on Fridays and weekends. When this game does come out, I will be there streaming at day one, probably all day too. So I'm ready for that. But if you can't catch me live, I do upload them to my second YouTube channel, Hobbies with Jose Gaming. And you can support the channel by heading over to the merch store, some great stuff there. Or support for free by hitting the like and subscribing and leaving a nice comment. It's always appreciated. Or really give your support by hitting up the Patreon too. And maybe telling me what to work on next. You have the power to do that. But until next time, I will see you all real soon. Take care, everyone.